The Dracula family tree is one of the most intricate and tragic lineages in Castlevania franchise, full of heartbreak, betrayal, and dark destinies. From the rise of the infamous Count Vlad Tepes to the tragic fall of his descendants, every character plays a pivotal role in the Castlevania saga. Welcome back to your nerdy show. I'm your host, Spoiler Master. In this video, we're diving deep into the bloodline that spawned a vampire lord and his eternal conflict with humanity. Get ready to uncover the forgotten histories, complex relationships, and untold stories of Dracula's family. Let's begin.
I am Vlad Dracula Tepes, and I have had enough!
Dracula, Count Vlad Tepes, originally known as Matthias Kronqvist, is the central antagonist of the Castlevania series. His transformation into Dracula is deeply intertwined with his tragic past. Matthias was once a man of noble intentions, but the untimely death of his first wife, Elisabetha, sent him into a profound despair. This grief twisted his worldview and led him to renounce God and embrace vampirism after finding the Crimson Stone, an artifact that granted him immortality and dark powers. His new life as Dracula was marked by an insatiable hunger for vengeance, not just on humanity, but on the very forces of fate. As Dracula, he raised an army of demons, monsters, and other dark creatures and established his infamous fortress, Castlevania, which became a symbol of his endless conflict with the Belmont clan. This war against the Belmonts and other heroes continues through most of the series, with Dracula returning from death each time until his final defeat in Castlevania, Symphony of the Night. In the Castlevania animated series, Dracula's backstory is explored in more depth. He is depicted as a heartbroken widower and a father, with his deep love for Elisabetha and his grief over her death, propelling him into a relentless quest for vengeance. Despite his brutal and evil actions, there are glimpses of humanity left in him, making his character even more tragic. Elisabetha Kronqvist, first wife. Elisabetha Kronqvist, Matthias Kronqvist's first wife, is central to the catalyst that leads to Dracula's transformation. A stunningly beautiful and gentle woman, Elisabetha was Matthias's light in a world of darkness. She was intelligent and loving, and Matthias cherished her deeply. However, her death from illness struck Matthias like a bolt of lightning, shattering his happiness and plunging him into a spiral of despair and madness. Her loss devastated him to the point where he could no longer see any value in human life. The grief from her passing was so overwhelming that it caused him to lose his faith in God and humanity, setting the stage for his eventual transformation into Dracula. Her death is the key event that drives Matthias to embrace darkness and seek vengeance, ultimately turning into the monstrous figure of Count Dracula. Elisabetha is often portrayed as an idealized figure, with long, pale blonde hair and serene beauty, often depicted wearing graceful, elaborate dresses. Her tragic fate is a turning point not only in Dracula's life, but in the entire Castlevania lore, as it sparks his fall from grace.
Don't mistake me for a witch. Everybody out there already does.
Lisa Hepes. Second wife Lisa Hepes, Dracula's second wife, plays a pivotal role in humanizing him. Unlike the sorrowful, grief-stricken Dracula of old, Lisa is depicted as kind, compassionate, and deeply committed to helping others. She was a highly skilled doctor who sought out Dracula in his castle in the year 1455, driven by her desire to learn from him and expand her knowledge of science and medicine. She was one of the few people to see beyond Dracula's dark exterior and recognized his humanity. Through her love and wisdom, Lisa was able to draw Dracula out of his dark isolation and taught him to care for the people of Wallachia. In many ways, Lisa served as the last vestige of Dracula's former self. Their union resulted in the birth of their son, Alucard, and they moved to a peaceful cottage in Wallachia, where Lisa continued her medical work. Tragically, Lisa's life was cut short when she was falsely accused of witchcraft by the church and burned alive at the stake. Even in her final moments, Lisa pleaded with Dracula not to exact revenge on the people of Wallachia, as they didn't understand her death was a result of ignorance, not malice. Her death was the final trigger that sealed Dracula's transformation into a vengeful, God-hating vampire. In the Castlevania animated series, Lisa is portrayed as a compassionate and selfless woman whose love for Dracula was genuine, and her tragic end is a major driver of his descent into darkness.
I am Alucard, son of Dracula. And if you
Alucard, Adrian Fahrenheit Sepesh, Ignito Pasnifars, son Alucard, born Adrian Fahrenheit Sepesh, is the son of Dracula and Lisa. As a Dhampir, half human, half vampire, Alucard's existence stands as a symbol of the union between Dracula's darkness and Lisa's light. His life has been marked by inner conflict, torn between the blood of his father, Dracula, and the compassionate nature of his mother, Lisa. Alucard was raised in Dracula's dark castle, where he was trained in the arts of darkness and weaponry. However, despite Dracula's attempts to mold him into a weapon for his cause, Alucard's human side, influenced by his mother's kindness, led him to reject his father's path of vengeance. After Lisa's death, Alucard was unable to stop Dracula's growing hatred for humanity and eventually left his father's side, refusing to be part of the monstrous war Dracula waged. In Castlevania, Symphony of the Night, Alucard becomes a playable character and a central figure in the story, taking up arms to stop his father's evil reign. Alucard is a formidable warrior, skilled in sword fighting and dark magic, and he also possesses the ability to shapeshift into a bat, wolf, or mist, much like his father. His appearance, pale skin, silver hair, and a tragic aura, reflects his inner turmoil. In the Castlevania animated series, Alucard is portrayed as a reluctant hero, struggling with his loyalty to his father and his desire to protect humanity, making him one of the most complex and beloved characters in the franchise. Elizabeth Bartley. Niece Elizabeth Bartley is Dracula's vampiric niece and a key antagonist in Castlevania Bloodlines. Elizabeth was born into the Bartley family, a family with ties to the Teepee's lineage. Her life was marked by tragedy and manipulation. As a child, she was forcefully engaged to a man she did not love, and she quickly grew disillusioned with her life. In her quest for power, Elizabeth learned dark magic from a sorceress named Drolta Tsuentes. Elizabeth eventually began murdering people and torturing servants in the basement of her home, showing her sadistic tendencies. After her death, Elizabeth was resurrected by Drolta Tsuentes, and she sought to use the souls of the dead to bring Dracula back to life. Her ambitions were focused on resurrecting her uncle in order to exact vengeance on the ruling powers in Europe. Elizabeth's plot to bring Dracula back to life was a central part of her character arc, but her efforts were thwarted by vampire hunters and heroes like Eric Lecard and John Morris. Elizabeth is a ruthless, power-hungry character whose devotion to Dracula is both twisted and destructive. Soma Cruz. Reincarnation Soma Cruz, the protagonist of Castlevania, Aria of Sorrow, and Castlevania, Dawn of Sorrow, is one of the most interesting characters in the Castlevania lore. Soma is the reincarnation of Dracula, though he has no memory of his past life when the game begins. Soma inherits Dracula's power of dominance, which allows him to control the souls of defeated monsters, a direct link to Dracula's ability to command dark creatures. Unlike Dracula, Soma is a reluctant hero. He is horrified by the powers that awaken within him and fears the dark destiny that comes with being Dracula's reincarnation. Soma's journey is about coming to terms with his dark powers while trying to fight against the same forces of evil that Dracula unleashed upon the world. Soma's story is one of self-discovery, as he must navigate the dark and twisted environments of Dracula's castle. His internal struggle mirrors Dracula's own transformation, yet Soma seeks redemption rather than destruction. Soma's connection to Dracula is both a curse and a gift, as he shares the same incredible powers but also faces the same potential for corruption. His resemblance to Dracula, both in appearance and abilities, serves as a reminder of the dark legacy he is trying to overcome. Our nerdy thoughts, and there you have it. The dark and tangled legacy of Dracula's family, a saga of love, loss, and eternal struggle. Each character in this bloodline has shaped the world of Castlevania in ways that are both haunting and unforgettable. Whether they fight for redemption or succumb to darkness, their stories are at the heart of the Castlevania series. Which character's journey captivated you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into the Dracula family, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more content like this. Until next time, stay fearless.
Oh, what the heck, I'll laugh anyway.